Cupquake? Welcome to another episode of Quake and Bake. After all of your comments from last week's video, I could not resist to make a Minecraft watermelon cake.
Melon blocks were first introduced to Minecraft in 1.8 beta. They are grown with melon seeds, and once it reaches full maturity, a melon block appears. When melon blocks are broken, it gives melon slices, which can then be consumed or turned into seed to be planted again.
So I'm going to be using 1 box of super moist white cake along with all of its ingredients. Before mixing your cake, separate a little bit of the cake mix. I'll go over this later. Then place all of your ingredients in your bowl. Instead of using red dye to get the color of the cake, I'm going to be using watermelon jello. And for the watermelon seeds, I'm going to be using mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now get about a cup of your chocolate morsels and mix them with your dry cake batter.
This will help the chocolate chips to distribute evenly throughout your cake.
Pour your cake mix into 2 square pans. While the cakes are cooling, I'm going to prepare a shortening buttercream icing. Place the 2 cups of shortening in a large bowl and mix it on medium until it's smooth. In a separate bowl, mix the water, vanilla, butter, and salt, and slowly incorporate it into your shortening mixture. Now add 4 tablespoons of light corn syrup and beat it on medium. Now slowly add your 2 pounds of powdered sugar. Make sure to keep this on low speed so it doesn't blow up in your face.
Once you're done mixing, your icing should be nice and fluffy.
Now that our cakes are completely cool, we're now ready to dirty ice them. I did have a little bit of ripping, but we can cover that with icing. So I have 2 pieces of cardboard wrapped in foil. One is the size of the cake and one is a little larger. So we're going to put a little bit of icing onto the one that's the size of the cake so the cake can actually stick to it. Now we can grab 1 cake and place it on top. Then we're going to ice the top of it. So we're going to place a lot of it. Once the first layer of icing is on, we're now going to place the second cake on top of that. And we're going to ice the top of that as well. Now we're going to add a thin layer of icing all around the cake. This is called dirty icing. So when we put on the fondant, it sticks. And you don't have to worry about getting crumbs in the icing because we're going to cover it. Once your cake is iced, we're going to place this in the fridge to cool and we're going to roll out our fondant. So I went ahead and dyed some fondant green and I'm going to roll this out. Once you have all of the fondant on, now comes the fun part, which is decorating. So I'm going to get a green leaf gel dye and we're gonna mix it with a little bit of vodka. You can also use a substitute. I'll have to double check what you guys can use for that and I'll put that in the description. And we're going to just mix it in a little bowl and we're going to grab a paintbrush that we have not used for paints. This is for food only, and we're going to paint on the watermelon decorations. So when you first start, make a dot in the center where your stem would be. And then from there, we're going to kind of, in a swivelly motion like this, we're going to go all the way down the cake. So we can first make a cross. Once you have a cross, now we're going to go towards each corner. Now that you have this kind of star structure, we're just going to fill in some empty spaces, just sporadically and randomly. Once your first layer is drying, you can then go ahead, get some more color, and we're going to darken these centers. So don't go as far out. So we're just going to darken the middle portion, and this is going to give it another nice gradient effect. Now we're going to use cocoa powder to add some dark spots onto the watermelon. So grab your brush again and just dab it on. Now we're going to get a Tootsie Roll and add it as the stem. So I'm going to break off a piece. We're going to shape it into a circle. We're going to place it on top. Then grab a toothpick and make some holes.
add some contrast by adding more green food coloring. You can also add some cocoa powder on the stem so it doesn't shine.
Once you're satisfied with your decorations, you now have a Minecraft watermelon cake. I am so happy with this, and I think there's a fun little surprise on the inside. It actually looks just like a watermelon, except it's square. Thank you guys so much for suggesting this. I had a lot of fun doing it because I was really painting and got to be really creative. But if you guys have a suggestion for next week's episode, leave a comment below and I will try to do it. Also, be sure to tweet me a picture at ISCupquik if you do try this out. But thank you guys so much for watching. I am Cupquik and I will see you all later. Bye!